Welcome to the Get Fit Guys quick and dirty tips to slim down and shape up. There is a deep, dark, mysterious exercise secret that personal trainers and fitness pioneers have struggled for decades to hunt down. Like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and the goose that laid the golden egg, the one who discovers this elusive secret will go down in infamy and live eternally glorified in exercise manuals everywhere. Folks, that's how most people understand the fat-burning zone. But by the time you finish this episode, you'll know the best way to discover your personal fat-burning zone easily and exactly how to use it. So what is the fat-burning zone? As you learned in the episode How to Tone and Lose Fat in One Body Part, your body relies on fat as a primary fuel. But because the body is a complex machine, it's able to make energy from other fuel sources too, like protein and carbohydrate. Throughout the day, each person uses a combination of carbohydrate, fat, and protein fuel sources to create the energy that's necessary to sit up, climb stairs, filter blood in the kidneys, make the automatic lung muscles function, help the heart to beat, and even lift a fork to eat. The most efficient of these energy sources is fat. 1 pound of stored fat can provide 3,600 calories of energy, which is far more than most people burn in a single day. In comparison, a pound of storage protein or carbohydrate provides less than half that much energy. Because fat provides so much energy, the body relies primarily on fat during rest and during relatively slow and easy physical activity. From an evolutionary survival standpoint, this makes sense since most people can only store about 2,000 calories of carbohydrate on their entire body. So if you burnt carbohydrate as your primary fuel, you'd have to be finding food and eating all day long. And if you burnt protein as your primary fuel source, your body would have to break down muscle and other organs to get the protein fuel. Or you'd have to be rooting around for nuts, seeds, eggs, and meat all day long. So what this comes down to is the human body just doesn't function well when the fuel that it has to rely on revolves around walking around with a bag of Cheetos pushing a barbecue grill. However, once you begin moving quickly, you suddenly present your body with a fueling paradox. Because, while fat is plentiful on your body, even a 150-pound individual with 5% body fat has 27,000 calories of stored fat energy, and fat provides many calories for exercise energy, it simply doesn't provide that energy as quickly as carbohydrates do. When the body needs to get from point A to point B quickly or needs to hoist a heavy object overhead, it needs immediate energy, and that's where carbohydrates come in. They may not provide as much energy, but they certainly provide the energy far faster than fat. So, as you progress from a standstill to a walk to a jog to an all-out sprint, your body begins to tap into carbohydrates more and more, while reducing its use of fat as a fuel. Of course, during this entire progression, you're burning more overall calories too. So while the percentage of fat used as a fuel is decreasing, the total fat calories you burn might still be increasing. For example, if you burn 200 calories an hour while you're walking and 60% of that is fat, then you burnt 120 fat calories per hour. But if you burn 600 total calories per hour while jogging and only burn 40% fat during that time, you still burn 240 calories of fat per hour, twice as much as when you were walking. Using this concept, the point at which fat burning peaks during exercise is referred to as the peak fat burning zone. And here's how to find your peak fat burning zone. In most individuals, the fat-burning zone occurs at 45 to 65% of the maximum heart rate. And this is the typical calculation used by personal trainers. They'll take the number 220 and subtract the age to find your maximum heart rate. Then take 45 to 65% of that number to find your maximum fat-burning zone. But the result is highly variable and tends to be erroneous, primarily because the maximum heart rate is highly variable. The equation 220 minus age simply doesn't work accurately to find most people's maximum heart rates. So here is a quick and dirty tip for finding your personalized fat-burning zone far more accurately. Number 1, warm up on a bike for 10 minutes. Number 2, pedal at your maximum sustainable pace for 20 minutes. You should be breathing hard and your legs burning, but you should be able to maintain the same pedaling intensity for the full 20 minutes. Number 3, record your average heart rate during those 20 minutes. Subtract 20 beats from that heart rate. Add and subtract 3 beats from the resulting number, and that is your peak fat burning zone. For example, if your average heart rate during the 20 minutes was 160 beats per minute, 160 minus 20 is 140, and your peak fat burning zone is 137 to 143, which is 140 plus or minus 3 beats. It goes without saying that you'll probably need a heart rate monitor for this task. Compared to the results that I have personally obtained from hundreds of individuals in a professional exercise physiology lab with all sorts of gas masks and gadgets, this method that I just outlined attains very similar results. But if you did want a laboratory test to find your personal fat-burning zone, then you would be looking for something called a graded treadmill test or a VO2 test. Congratulations, you've now discovered the elusive fat-burning zone, but don't go celebrate yet. As you learned earlier, the fat-burning zone doesn't necessarily burn a high amount of calories. If you do all your exercise in the fat-burning zone, then you'll never develop strong lungs, muscles, or much fitness and athleticism. Furthermore, research shows that both cardio intervals and resistance training help you lose weight faster than exercising in your peak fat-burning zone. So an ideal workout program mixes cardiovascular exercise in the peak fat-burning zone on easier recovery days with a combination of resistance training and cardio intervals that go above the fat-burning zone on harder days. Here is a sample workout week that incorporates the fat-burning zone. Day 1, strength training for 40 to 60 minutes. Day 2, 40 to 60 minutes in your peak fat-burning zone. Day 3, cardio intervals for 40 to 60 minutes. Day 4, off. Day 5, strength training for 40 to 60 minutes. Day 6, exercise in your peak fat-burning cardio zone for 40 to 60 minutes. And Day 7, cardio intervals for 40 to 60 minutes. With that workout, you can give your body a chance to burn fat fast with the resistance training and cardio intervals, but also get to utilize easier days to also burn fat without quite as much strain on the body. I'll include that workout as well as links to other strength training and cardio interval tips in the episode show notes. Now, compared to hunting down Bigfoot, this approach to exercise is far easier to implement and gets much more satisfactory results. The answer to the fat-burning zone question was based on a discussion that we recently had over at the Get Fit Guys Facebook page. So if you want to engage in discussion and question and answer in between listening to these episodes, go to facebook.com and do a search for Get Fit Guy. You can also get tips from me every day if you follow me on Twitter. Just go to twitter.com/getfitguy to do that. And finally, the Get Fit Guy newsletter contains lots of video content and extra tips that you don't get in the articles or podcast episodes. And until next time, what are you waiting for? Go get fit.